And this one is Dragon with the white pieces versus Komodo. This is a 15-minute rapid game. Let's see what happens. It's about to get crazy. Here we go. So we have Dragon with the white pieces goes D4 and then B6 and Owen's system, Owen's defense. It can be played really against everything that white plays. So D4, B6 from Komodo and E4. Transposition into the Owen's defense. Usually you will see E4 then D4. Now there's a lot of chess in this game, 60 something moves, but we're going to slow down a little bit and actually speed it up later on so that we can get through the entire game and not keep you guys too long. So E4, bishop to B7 is next. After bishop B7, bishop to D3. It defends the pawn. This is usually basic theory that you would see in the Owens defense. It's sort of like a French defense with the bishop on B7. So think about that. So bishop to D3 and then E6 happens, which is trying to get the bishop out very early. It's also attacking this. You're going to play knight F6. Now, a lot of times, especially people that have problems with this opening with the white pieces, I've had problems before, is playing knight to C3 is immediately going into what they want. In a way, it's like a reverse Larson system, move 1B3, like Larson himself, Bent Larson, and also Hikaru, who has a nasty score with the B3, right? B3 move. So after E6 here, there's knight to F3, and then C5, which is usually a move here, C5, and you'll play C3, which happens, we bolster the center. Okay, after bolstering the center, knight F6 and queen E2, defending. I'm a fan of playing this way and then castling and just going for a quick mate as quick as possible. D5 from Komodo, attacking the center. This is a center type attacking opening with the pawns and the pieces, as you see. Kind of like a weird French because the bishop is on B7, not C8, and it can't go to A6. So after the E5 move, knight F to D7, and we officially are in like a real French territory, except the bishop is on B7. That usually doesn't happen once again. So we got the French advanced pawn structure here. So we have castles and knight C6. And then here's one move that's really cool from Dragon, playing H4 for the score, saying, yo, let's go for it. You already know what I want. I'm trying to checkmate. And this king obviously is not going to go to the queen side many times because of the c file being open. Easy B4, A4, A5, and we live everything 5 and live. Bishop A6 is looking nasty. So a lot of times you know that they're going to castle this way or the king's going to stay in the center. After the H4 move, there is H6 from black and then H5, right? Gaining more space. Yes, this pawn seems weak, but it can be defended quite easily. So let's make some moves here. Remember, in the opening, it's all about making moves, right? Getting your pieces out, developing, making a plan. Let's see what happens. After H5, bishop E7, get it off the back rank. Knight to A3, doing the same thing. Strange, but of course, maybe we want to put it on B5. Knight on the rim is dim, grim, whatever, right? But knight A3 is a good move, and it actually develops. Sometimes you go to C2 as well. So knight to C3, A6, stopping knight to B5, and white plays a very nice move here I like, with bishop to B1. Tucking the bishop, a tuck and roll here, where these bishops are like snipers and they sit here waiting to be activated. After bishop to B1, queen to C7, is he going to castle queen side? We don't know. So after queen C7, knight to C2, bringing the knight back around. A5 and then rook to E1, put the rook on a file with a smile. But guys, this is a closed position. And in closed positions, it takes maneuvering and it takes a lot of skill. So you have to know what you're doing, what the plan is, and it takes a lot of maneuvering. Hence why this game was 63 moves. It takes a lot of maneuvering, a lot. So let's see what happens. After rook E1, bishop A6, maneuvering some more, hitting the queen. Queen obviously moves, C takes D4, C takes D4, and B5, gaining some space. Usually in these type of positions, white gains space on the king side, trying to checkmate. Black gaining space on the queen side, trying to limit checkmate, obviously not get checkmated. Maybe keep the king here because you like castling right into mate, right? King safety is important, not just castling. And also the queen side for black is going to be where we're going to try to get our advantage and win the game. So after B5, A3, just stopping some B4 action or maybe knight B4 action. But he really didn't want that. Dragon didn't want it. So queen to B6, trying to insist. And then bishop to F4, get the piece off the back rank. Rook to C8, bishop G3. A little reroute. Maybe we'll go this way. A lot of times you bring the queen in, try to attack these pawns. A4, a nice move, trying to gain some more space here, right? We're playing on opposite sides of the board here, so let's see what happens. A4 and then knight to E3, rerouting, opening up the bishop here. And then after knight to A5, you see bishop C2, right? The knight was swinging into B3, so bishop C2 was played to stop it, but knight C4 can be played. There was no knight C4, surprisingly. In fact, there was bishop to B7, backing the bishop up. And white plays knight H4. Now we're looking at this like, oh, knight H4, you're probably going to go queen G4 next, right? That's probably the next move. That's why you played this. You should always ask yourself, what is your opponent going to do next? After knight to H4, what is the intention of this move? Shoot, it looks like queen G4. It's simple, right? Queen G4. Okay, so he does put his knight on C4 and says, all right, bro, trying to trade these off, my guy. Time to trade them. Time to trade them. So what do you do in this position? White to move. Here it is. Okay, we look at the position. Knight takes F5. Seems like a move, right? I mean, maybe we still probably could go Queen G4. It is murky because loose pieces lose games, right? Or LPDO, like chess kids. Loose pieces drop off. Rook takes C2. You're looking crazy, right? If this does not work, Queen G4, the knight's the only thing defending C2 at that point. So here it is. Dragon says, you know what? Knight F5. And we live. What you thought this was? Yeah, it's time to open up. Yeah, big fella, time to open up shop. Knight E to E5. Knight E, E5, F5. Knight E to F5. I mean, that's an amazing move. Knight takes G7's in the air there, and he says, okay, okay, says Komodo. I'm going to take those. You're going to have to show me, big fella. So he takes it. The knight takes F5. Very nice attack here. A lot of times you do have to sacrifice pieces to open things up. And it's not a weird thing, and it's not like it doesn't happen a lot in the French defense or similar. You will a lot of times sacrifice pieces in these French type positions. So this definitely happened. Knight takes F5. After knight takes F5, there was knight to F8 to get just kind of out of the way. Defend the squares here, obviously, too, as well. And then what's the next move? Chat and YouTube and everybody watching. What do you do here? Knight takes G7, knight E7, E6. How do you continue the attack? I'm going to tell you one thing here. I probably would have played knight takes G7. It just felt right. Maybe some E6 in there, Queen G4. Maybe in a slow push game, you might find the move here, which is knight to D6. Wow. Knight D6 check. Flex real hard from the big boy engine here. Knight to D6, that's a nasty move here. Nasty. So, of course, after knight D6, King D7, I'm not taking this knight. I'm just about to get out of the way. Have a nice day. King D7, and instead of taking any of this stuff, he goes queen to F3 for dragon. Hitting this pawn, I mean, bishop F5 check. This is very weird. So we see knight E6, queen takes F7. Whoa. Rook F8, queen G6. He's like, all right, I'm good. I'm out the woods. Bishop takes, get rid of this knight. I play rook F6, and I'm out the woods. I'm out the woods, says Komodo. We're good out here. We're good, right? White to move. White to move now. What do you do about this? Your queen's hanging. You know, everything you thought you had is now diminishing. I mean, his king does look kind of crazy, and you do have to defend this. Maybe there's a queen G7 if we back the queen up right. But, you know, we're going to move our queen, right? Right? Raise your hand. You're moving your queen. Yeah. Yeah. We all wrong, big fella. Bishop F5. Bishop F5. We're not moving no queen round here. What did you think this was? Bishop F5. And we live. I don't care about none of that. Says Dragon. Take the queen. So he does. Rook takes G6. Ace takes G6. This is hanging. And in fact, the engine says, oh, it's kind of equal. Kind of equal. And then after thinking, they give it like, you know, super equal. And after this. But equal. Believe it or not, after the queen side, because the king out here looking crazy. We got the extra pawn all in the camp, defended by the bishop. Both the bishops looking nasty here. Pressure on the file with a smile. So after rook e8, there's bang, hitting. Oh yeah, you thought this was over, didn't you? Rook takes e6, hitting, splitting, rook e1, rook e6. Looking rough. Queen takes d4, rook takes e6. Okay. Engine evaluation right now says half a pawn for white. Wow. Half a pawn for white. Crazy. Absolutely nuts here. So there's so many checks. This bishop is so strong. I mean, it looks like you're losing your queen everywhere. Honestly, most likely getting mated. So what happens here is knight takes d6, saying, all right, cool, I'm going to give you one of the pieces back. Rook takes, and instead of stepping into c7, GG, start a new game, he went king to e8 and getting out of the way. Right, now a little bit of a technique here. Let's move on because we do got 30 moves left. Bishop d7, king e7. Bishop h3, look at the bishops, the two ops here, the snipers, the boys, they working together. Bishop h3, rook d7 is looking nasty. After bishop h3, there is a b4 trying to expand, trying to do whatever we can. And king h2, nice move, prophylactic. Tuck in the king, tuck and roll. Get out the way, no checks, none of that weird stuff. h5, right, trying to play h4, and now it's time to attack. So rook e6, king d8, and then take on b4. Right, and right here, the best move obviously looks like h4. I mean, because there is like no bishop takes because of queen, right? But Komodo actually played this move. The engines make mistakes too. Bishop to c8. Game over. Start a new one. Get him off the board. It's white to move. What do you do here? How do you finish this? Bishop c8 seems like a move, right? But it's not. Here it is. Simple check. You guys got it. Rook d6. Great job, chat. That's right. Rook d6. Rook d6 check. If king c7, we're going to just take on d5 and stare at him real hard. GG, start a new one. That's a discovery. But now you can't block with the bishop because I'm going to take. And king e8, which is what happened in the game, we just take on c8. So bishop takes c8. h4, rook e6 check. And this one's kind of cool. If there's king d8, there's bishop e5, surprisingly, which is a cool one. That's actually what happened. King d8, bishop e5, queen takes b4, and rook to c6 to defend the bishop. We're going to back this boy up and hit you with mate everywhere. And of course, this is covered right now, so we need to get bishop d6 in as well. Queen to b5, attacking. We need to defend. We defend. Everything's defended. We got three pieces here. Usually, 3 pieces is better than a queen. Usually. Sometimes it depends on the situation, and if the queen is able to pick off one of the pieces due to a double attack or a skewer or something of that sort, checking, picking up a piece. Right, if they're not able to do this, then they're not going to win, or it's going to be very difficult for them to try to win the game. D4, right, trying to dislodge the bishop. If bishop takes, then the rook hangs, and black's actually going to be winning. So bishop f4, going somewhere where it can be defended and anchored. And then D3, past pawns must be pushed. Do you feel a little scared? Not at all. Bishop G4, I'm good, bro. And then I can also check you here if I need to. Got that pawn on lock. So queen to B4, hits both of the bishops at the same time. Pretty easy move is rook to D7. King e8, and this next move, can you find it? Can you find it? Both your bishops hanging. You got to defend them. If you move one, I take the other. So what do you do about this dilemma? Bishop d6? Oh, that's looking crazy. Absolute nonsense. G3, I mean, maybe you could get away with G3. But there is a queen takes B2. It looks kind of scary in there. Kind of annoying. What do you do? Here it is. Here it is. Bishop G5. I mean, the dragon was just out here today doing everything. I mean, sacking the queen, sack a piece, sack everything, mate everything left and right. I mean, bishop G5 is beautiful because now if you take the bishop, there's just rook D8, mate, and we great. Nasty. So queen to B8 check, stopping all that. Then we play F4 to stop it. And at this point, this was game over. D2 was the move from black here. And really what you could do, I mean, you could even go rook to D8 check and still pick this game up. It's going to take a long time, but because you have this under wraps and you have to walk the king over here and take it. But an easier move is just take first. Ask black, what are you doing? You in Zugzwang in a way. Zugmaster, zugged out, whatever you want to call it. Right? He's zugged out. You can't really move anything. So black plays A3. And the rest is just history as we fly through these moves. We take on A3. We take on H3, actually, and the bishop check first. And then come back and take on H3. I mean, this is like, wow, disastrous. Queen C7, rook check. And then takes, and this is the position you left with. Dragon just demolished this game. I mean, that was just a great game by Dragon as Komodo was trying to pick up the pieces here. King G8, and we about to just walk the dogs in the park. I mean, pretty simple. Walk them. Hello, hi, how you doing? Well, queen and we mean. And that's mate. And by the way, like, look at the little box that the king is in. You can't even get out of it. You are mated no matter what. I could have moved my king here and here, and then made this a rook if I wanted to, right? But the game's over. That was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, by the way. That was Dragon vs. Komodo. I hope you guys enjoyed it today. This is Chess.com. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure y'all check out this next one right above me. We'll see y'all on the next one.